Greetings, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on where in the world you are tapping in from. You gotta keep in mind that Keep It P podcast is a global show, and today we will be discussing San Francisco Giants manager Gabe Kapler. No more national anthem for me until our country changes. Does that sound familiar to you? Is this deja vu? Is this Groundhog's Day, maybe? I don't know. Thought we were against that. We'll talk about that and more when we would return on this edition of Keep It P Podcast. Hold the mail.
Music TV.
Kendra, you're the best. Kendra Blackwood is the fucking best.
Welcome to Keep It P Podcast, where we take news, situations, and everyday occurrences, and we show how one could or could not be keeping it P. And today I am your host, TZ Von Savage, in the place to be Sucker MCs. Self-hug, self-love, that's a beatbox and a b-boy stance. You may have thought that was corny, but what's even more corny is if we let the culture die, y'all. And what's even more cornier than that is going harder in the paint over the school shooting than the Buffalo shooting, where those were people that resembled you. Now, TZ has love for the kids as well as anybody else. But does anybody care about the kids being massacred in Chicago on a daily basis? Does anybody care about that war zone and the kids walking to school safely in these horrible neighborhoods? What about that? Let's get into this hot mess, because that's what it is. We got Cap here. Thought it was Kaepernick. You didn't even stole the man's name, so y'all had to pick somebody with the name Cap in there just so you could show I'm Dwight and I say so. No. When the darkies were gonna do it, no, it was horrible. It was disrespectful to the armed forces, even though it was a veteran who came up with taking a knee, even though it was somebody from the military who came up with taking the knee. Oh, we understand that now. Oh, yeah. It's fine to take the knee. It's fine to have a seat during the national anthem. It's fine to stay in the dugout. Right? Now it's fine. After y'all done kicked this man out, after you done whiteballed him out the football league. Don't get it twisted. I'm not rah sis kumbaya. Yeah, all over Kaepernick. See how his name's Kapler though? Gabe Kapler. Capper Nick. See that? Right? Okay. I don't know. Sounds pretty made up. Sounds real fishy, if you ask me. If you were to ask me if I smelled fish, I would say yeah. I smell all the fish sticks. There they go, right there. You can smell them too. Don't act like you don't smell them. But now they're going to come with all the mail-splain on why. Now, when Kaepernick said, "Oh, the country needs change," oh no, you can't say that, Blackie. Only one of us can say the country needs changes. San Francisco's Giants manager, Gabe Kapler. Gabe Kaepernick is very upset. He's pissed off, you guys. He's upset about the direction of our country. But when Kaepernick was, he hates America. After the latest mass shooting, and now he's protesting the national anthem. So after all the black people were getting shot, he said, hey, I'm going to take a knee. So now after people that aren't black get shot, I'm taking a national anthem. I'm protesting it. Where'd you even get that from, P, right? You didn't bite that off of Kaepernick? You're not all on his Richard riding his tip, P? Gabe says he's breaking from baseball to tradition and plans to no longer join players and coaches on the field before games for playing of the national anthem. Yeah, that's baseball tradition, and it's never been bucked before because no other players took a knee or stayed in the dugout until you, right, Cap? Look, both from California, right? San Francisco. He was the San Francisco 49ers. I mean, can I be making this stuff up? They're both from San Francisco teams. His name was Kaepernick. His name's Kapler. Right? Come on, man. I'm Dwight and I say so. He said on Friday in Cincinnati before his club played the Reds, I don't plan on coming out for the anthem going forward until I feel better about the direction of our country. Exactly what Kaepernick said. There was no deadline for his protest. Right. Exactly the same. In a post on his personal blog earlier Friday, Gabe reflected on the Uvalde school shooting and the response across the sporting world. Gabe wrote, the day 19 children and 2 teachers were murdered, we held a moment of silence at sporting events around the country. Then we played the national anthem and we went on with our lives. Right. Every time anti-black racism happens, that's what happens. So then Colin Kaepernick was like, no, I don't like that. And you guys were like, no, you can't do that. But let Kapler do it. And you're like, yay, he's a hero. Right? It goes on to say, the all too familiar response is not sitting well with GK, who added, we didn't stop to reflect on whether we are actually free and brave after this horrific event. We just stood at attention. So are black people allowed to feel like this, that we're not actually free? Can we feel like that? Matter of fact, we feel like that, right? I looked you up. You're Jewish, guy, right? Right? When Kaepernick was taking a knee, did you support? Once again, this ain't me rah-rah-rahing for Kaepernick. Because he took the Buster's way out with his little settlement and all that. But we ain't talking about him. That ain't the point. We talking about this biter. This follower that you try to steal. This is just like Dub S. White supremacy all day. Oh no, that ideal sucks. No. The darkies are doing that. That's horrible. Well, it's actually a great idea. Let's steal it. And then we'll say we made it up. We'll add a twist of green bean juice to it and mayo, and it's now ours. It goes on to say, when I was the same age as the children in Uvalde, my father taught me to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. And when I believed my country was representing its people well, or to protest and stay seated when it wasn't. Hold on. So y'all been knew this was a form of protest, right? Acceptable protest, right? Oh, acceptable if you're white. It's an acceptable form of protest if you're white. So once again, to reiterate, Kaepernick didn't come up with this. Colin Kaepernick didn't come up with this. His dad taught him that how many years ago? So y'all been doing this. But as soon as a darky did it, you Negroes, you better not. All that we did for you with the enslavement, you should be appreciative of the slavitude we put you through. I don't believe it is, and I don't believe it is representing us well right now. Where's everybody up in arms at? Why isn't this national, international news, right? Because it's been done already, right? And it was only news when a darky did it, because he's not supposed to do it. He went against the status quo. No, you let us protest the anthem. You darkies, you protest stuff like eating at the same lunch counter. Or you darkies, you go ahead and you protest drinking out the same water fountain. But oh, you want justice? No. What? You want reparation? No. We'll give you some money if you're from the Ukraine. Are you a refugee? Then no, we don't want it. We can't give you nothing. You're from Afghanistan? Where are we gonna get the money from? 6.4 billion. That's the number you seem to come up with every time when you want to give some money away. You always seem to figure out where 6.4 billion is just laying around, Afghan. Right? Ukraine, right? You had those figures just laying there. Gabe continues to say he tried to protest the anthem earlier this week, but it didn't materialize. Nah, because you was probably a hoe. You got cold feet. That's what it was. You thought it was sweet. You thought you really had the backbone to go out and be a copycat, and you just didn't. Cap. My brain said drop to a knee. My body didn't listen because I ain't gangster as I thought I was. He wrote, I wanted to walk back inside. Instead, I froze because I'm a buster. I felt like a coward. Yeah, because white supremacy, it's cowardice. So, yeah, you felt just like how you should. I didn't want to call attention to myself. Y'all never do. No, that's why nobody ever steps out of line and speaks up against white supremacy, even when they know it's wrong. Because you don't want to bring attention to yourself. I'm just going to be a good little boy and stay in my lane. Unless it's against black people, then I know how to join in on the reindeer games. I didn't want to take away from the victims or their families. There was a baseball game that needed to happen. There was a rock concert. A rock band was there. You understand? The rock and roll band was there. The lights, the pageantry. I knew that thousands of people were using this game to escape the horrors of the world for just a little bit. Thought you didn't want nobody to focus on them. You should have been focused on the families, right? So you didn't want to take away from the families. But don't the game take away from the families? Y'all should have canceled the game. That's what you should have did. But there's too much money involved. Right. So if you was really hurt about it, you wouldn't have did a little bogus. You take a moment of silence. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, play ball. Right? Don't try to pretend. Folks is killing their kids all the time, right? We do articles on it all the time. You can go back in the archives and see. I'm not making that up. So the fact that 20 kids got massacred and everybody went on with life as usual is not a shocker. You have a lot of practice doing it, especially when the victims are black. It's easy for you to get a good night's sleep after that because it's one less Negro, right? 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 Because you're concerned and you feel threatened that we're going to take over, right? That's all what critical race theory is about, right? Race replacement theory and all these theories. You know what else is a theory? Conspiracy theory. You know what's not a theory? That they're both from San Francisco, that they both have cap. That now all of a sudden he's taking a knee, or that he's protesting the national anthem, and when a black man did it, it was so taboo. Right, can't even take y'all seriously. I knew that thousands more wouldn't understand the gesture and would take it as an offense to the military, to veterans, to themselves. You only thought about that one night because the next night you were like, yeah, let's go ahead and do it, right? So do you think that thousands more are understanding now the gesture? Huh? Because it's you though, right? Are you worried about them taking offense now? That you're offending the military, veterans, and even the people, the fans themselves? Gabe says after a few days of reflection, he decided on his anthem protest. Bottom line for Cap, I am not okay with the state of this country. The home of the brave should encourage this. So all the brave people, because he's brave for doing this. Kaepernick was a thug for doing it. Disrespectful. He was a heathen. He was a hoodlum. He was a hooligan. But he does it as brave. Gabe Kapler engages in protest of the anthem, and he is a brave hero. Pay attention, y'all. I don't care about this baseball. I don't care about this Kaepernick. I'm telling you to pay attention to the optics. Shout out Jay Lava. Not trying to tell you what to think. Nope. Trying to show you how to think. Hello, McFlizzle. Not going to hold you. I'm just going to fold you and scold you. Because I done told you about being on code now. I mean, now you know I done told you now. You know I done told you now. It's time to put the nickel to the needle, y'all, now. Hashtag pull-up season, man. You see them, they start stealing. You always know. When you got Dub S on the run, they start backpedaling, stealing, and full of thievery. But y'all, 4 words: love, peace, blessings, and Malone, y'all. But y'all want to help, man? You see the Keep It P Raw? Y'all know what that is. That's subscription based. That's where we really get to the nitty gritty. You know what I'm saying? We can talk how we want to talk. But y'all need to know about this right here. Go sign. If your whole house ain't signed, then you might as well say you ain't signed then. Because everybody in your household should have signed this by now. And if they haven't, you're wrong. Your granny should have signed this by now. As your granny signed this, you're wrong. You're wrong. And Kendra's going to come on and tell you exactly how wrong you is now.
Be one to the family. This is Kendra Blackwood of Hot Lava Music TV and the Hot Lava Media Group. And I come to you today with an urgent call to action. And with that being said, this petition is to demand the US government immediately make anti-black racism a public health crisis is now an active campaign at change.org. And after this message, I'm going to need you to go over there and show your support. Right after you smash that like and subscribe if you have not already. Make sure you hit that bell for notifications. It doesn't cost you a thing. Now, This is a petition to demand cash reparations for foundational Black Americans addressing two critical components. So what is anti-Black racism? Anti-Black racism is defined here as policies and practices rooted in American institutions such as government, finance, education, healthcare, and justice that mirror and reinforce economic deprivation, racially targeted laws, beliefs, attitudes, prejudice, stereotyping and/or discrimination toward foundational Black Americans. What is a public health crisis, you ask? Well, a health crisis or public health crisis is a difficult situation or complex health system that affects humans in one or more geographic areas, from a particular locality to encompass the entire planet. Health crises generally have significant impacts on community health, loss of life, and on the economy. And ultimately the solution to the problem, it is imperative that the United States government declare anti-Black racism a public health crisis for foundational Black Americans. In 2020, as a community, Asian Americans experienced only 287 hate crimes nationwide. However, FBA in the same year suffered 2,871 reported hate crimes. As we know, those are just the reported accounts according to the F.B.I. As foundational Black Americans, we know that the number should reach in the billions daily. This resulted in a 94-1 unanimous decision to pass into law an anti-Asian hate crime provision to make Asian a protected class. With anti-Black racism being thousands of times more prevalent and permeating within the fabric of America, we ask that you sign this petition to say, we are sick of studies and commissions to study forums and meaningless holidays and nothing burger symbolic gestures. We demand the U.S. government to urgently disperse the first initial reparations cash payment of $20 trillion to the surviving descendants of American chattel slavery. AKA, cut the damn check. And I mean that. Jack. On my ancestors for real. I proudly digress. Anyway, check out the new Slave Patrol documentary. Pull up season on you sucker MCs. Don't forget to join us on Patreon. I got 4 words for you. Go grab a shirt. And love, peace, blessings and Meloa. Be one.